In today's Leeds news, Leeds line up Bamford replacement, Solomon and James partnership, and Gelhardt on Hull City move. Morning folks, Jay here, Saturday morning the 25th of January with your Leeds United news. Hope you've had a really good week so far. Little bonus news video today because the game is on Monday, so we thought we'd get something else out. Myself and Andrew Stats Dalton will have a live stream, I think this afternoon, looking ahead to the game on Monday against Burnley and also talking about what happened last night in the Sheffield United game, which was an interesting one. But Leeds very much now have it all in their hands to go and open up a gap between themselves, second and third place. They could put 6 points between themselves and Burnley if they win on Monday night, and they could open a nice little 2-game gap between ourselves and Sheffield United in second. And this is the time of the year to start to do this, but there's a little bit of stuff to get stuck into, and we'll just give you the update, see how you feel about it. There's a couple of transfer stuff, and then there's a couple of just internal Leedsy stuff. So we'll start off with the transfer stuff, and according to some reports coming out of Sweden and Germany, Leeds United could be lining up a move for a Patrick Bamford replacement. Outlet Football Direct claim that Leeds are monitoring the situation of Hammarby striker Youssef Erabi and mentioning him as a potential Patrick Bamford replacement. That could mean a move in the summer or even in January. Erabi would give Leeds a definite alternative to the two striking options they have. Given his size, he has been nicknamed over in Sweden as the Swedish Hulk, which might add a little bit more physicality to the Leeds United attack in certain slightly more aggressive games that we've come up against this season. Erabi is 21 years of age. He's 6 foot tall, and he's got 8 goals and 2 assists in 18 starts this season for Hammarby. But there's a little bit of a complication to this one. If Leeds are interested in the player, a very modest transfer fee of about £5 million is labelled as enough to get the player in, assuming a deal can be done in January, assuming a deal can be done in the summer, with the striker expected to stay at Hammarby until then. The report adds that Erabi has agreed in conjunction with the Hammarby management team to stay for another few months till the end of the season to help the side out, and then consider his options in the summer. The question at that point would be whether Leeds are still interested in the striker. Should Leeds get promoted to the Premier League, Erabi might not be the kind of striker that they're looking for, and they might want to upgrade the option there. If they stay in the Championship, Erabi could be exactly the kind of striker that they need, but do they have the money at that point to do it? So all of those things come into the equation. But another one being linked up, and he's not a bad striker, Erabi. He is a very different striker. If you look at himself, Morgan Berisha, that have been linked with Leeds, there's a lot of similarities in the build of the players and how they play. So if Leeds are looking at these types of players, and if there is any interest in them, it is a different profile to what we've got with Joel Piroe and Mateo Joseph. So we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to some internal stuff, and Daniel James, who got a brand new song this week, courtesy of Leanne Rimes and Vanilla Ice. If you haven't seen it, go look it up online. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. But James and Manor Solomon have been in impressive form for Leeds this season. And Manor Solomon has been speaking to LeedsUnited.com about the budding relationship between himself and Daniel James. They have been integral to everything that Leeds have done this season. Both of them have contributed quite a lot this season. We'll get to their numbers in a little bit, but Manor Solomon put an Instagram post out after the Norwich City game of himself and Daniel James, declaring his love for Daniel James more so than the love for his partner. But Solomon has been working really closely with Daniel James behind the scenes at Leeds, and it's developing into a really strong partnership, and not the most obvious partnership you'd get with two wide players. But speaking to LeedsUnited.com, Manor Solomon said the following on the situation. When DJ plays, I know that I have to be switched on to these balls. It's something that we work on. It's something that I'm always aware of. When the ball is on the other flank, I know that I need to be inside because DJ is really fast and he knows how to give these balls. So yeah, I'm happy that I was switched on, and it was a great delivery by Dan, and we opened the game really well. Solomon and James have established themselves as the first choice wide options for Leeds United this season, and if you look at the numbers they've clocked up so far, they're pretty impressive. Daniel James, even with a small injury earlier this year, has 7 goals and 4 assists in 22 full league games. He started, I think, 18. Manor Solomon, despite his injuries, has 5 goals and 5 assists in 21 games. That's all up games, not just his starts. So between the two of them, they have directly been involved in 21 of Leeds United's 53 goals this season, and that's just minutely under 40% of Leeds' total goals this season have been contributed to by Dan James and Manor Solomon directly, which is a hell of a stat to be able to quote, and it shows where the impact is coming this season from Leeds. And you've really got to feel sorry for the likes of Largi Ramazani and Willie Gnonto, who are sitting there looking at these two options ahead of them and wondering if they can get into this side. And It's really hard to take both of them out of the team at the moment. They're playing really, really well. They're having a huge impact. Solomon gets the first goal for Leeds against Norwich, assisted by Dan James. And then Solomon returns the favour and he assists Dan James to get his goal in the second half. So it's really hard to look at taking either of those two out of the team. Can you squeeze Ramazani into the 10? Is it worth trying Gnonto as well? But obviously, Farke has spoken about Gnonto as a 9 and he has spoken about Ramazani potentially as a 10. But I think we all think that Leeds should just go and buy a 9 and go and buy a 10. Round pegs, round holes, and move on. Moving on to the final bit of today, as I said, this is a short one today, but Joe Gelhardt has had a really impressive start to his time at Hull City and made a big impact already since his loan move, showing glimpses of what we all know that he can do. A wonderful goal in his starting debut, followed up by 2 involvements in the build-up to the goals last night for Hull City as they beat Sheffield United. And he's already having an impact on our promotion rivals. But after his goal-scoring debut, Gelhardt spoke to Hull Live and said the following about the move. When I saw the game against Leeds from the bench, I saw how good Hull were, and we were saying in the dressing room, how are they bottom of the table? It doesn't make any sense. They're a good team. Once I've seen their style of play and the manager and how he likes to play, I thought that they suited me. So my agent was in contact with Hull and Leeds, and I've always wanted to come to Hull. It was just about Leeds letting me go. That was the delay. Now, Daniel Farke had said that no player had come to him and asked to move away from Leeds last week. According to Joe Gelhardt, his agent had been in touch with Leeds and Hull throughout that whole process. I think we know about it as well from the stories that were coming out for pretty much the last 3 weeks has been Joe Gelhardt to Hull, Rangers. So it was definitely there, but a hell of a start for him. Very good last night and a really, really good goal he scored the other night. Again, that's an example of what we've seen and we know that the player can do. But it's interesting, Ruben Sellis sees him as a wide player. And if Farke played around with it a little bit, didn't give it a lot of time, but yeah, sees him as a wide option coming in and playing off the striker. So I suppose it depends how you play, and all we want to see is Joffrey playing football and enjoying himself and playing well. Folks, that'll probably be it for me today. There will be a live stream later on with Stats Dalton to talk about the game against Burnley on Monday night, and we will have a warm-up video out tomorrow as well leading into the Burnley game. On Monday we'll do it as normal and we'll see what kind of news is out there. It should be a relatively busy week for Leeds next week. There's 9 days left in the transfer window. Closes on February the 3rd. Need to get moving. Folks, enjoy the rest of your weekend and I'll talk to you later on. See ya. Bye.